Hello again, YouTube. Jake here with more reading too much into things, and well, this episode is kind of like half filler. Feels like the A plot is filler, but the B plot isn't, or since it doesn't feel like filler plot, would the B plot be the A plot? Let's dive into episode 25 of Jyuohger's Unhappy Camera and try to see what I mean. We open with Yamato still down in the dumps over Bangray being the absolute worst. And so, right as Leo plans to cheer him up, Misao enters to try and do the same. Leo's a big jerk about his attempt. Yamato, not paying attention to his friend bad-mouthing another of his friends, does see that everyone is worried about him being so down in the dumps, so he tries to cheer up. Back in space, Janice is more than pleased with Bangray, but Bangray, he's kind of over the games. And Cubed is beyond over him, launching an attack in front of everyone. However, Bangray still leaves, Janice amused by the turn of events. Back on Earth, Misao sees a sign for free cameras that make anybody happy, and in come the delusions. Now, I know, some people have pointed out to me, hey, they might not be delusional, they might actually be real spirits in him, and they just use the line, figments of your imagination, for him to not freak out. But then wouldn't we also get Yamato getting mind flashes to Larry and Birdman? Or are we to assume that this only happens to Misao because of how much of the life force was poured into him compared to Yamato? But still, I feel like it would mean he'd have some sense of them in his mind. Also, why does the croc have an afro? So yeah, he buys the camera, which, if you weren't paying attention, is an obvious trap. So, he goes back, takes photos of Amu and Seila, Mr. Zol, as he calls him, and Yamato. And when distracted by Leo being mad over not getting his photo taken, poof, everyone's gone. We jump to the park where the Death Galleon is out collecting pictures when Bangray arrives. Kinda curious. What you got there? Can I see? And then Cubehead shows up, more than furious. Cubehead engages Bangray in battle as the camera player shows off exactly what you expect to happen with a monster like this. So, naturally, having fallen for the death game trap, Misao's kinda gloomy, leaving Leo to try and dodge getting trapped as well. Indeed, on to Bangray and Cubehead's fight. You know, despite his size suggesting otherwise, Bangray is dang fast. He reveals what Cubehead was so worried about him seeing in his memories, that Cubehead's planet was destroyed, and the wording suggests, at least to me, that it was the Blood Games that destroyed his planet. And then we jump to Misao and Leo, who agree upon the fact that they hate each other, in such a way that they can, at the end of the day, laugh about it. They go to engage the player in what Leo describes as their hatred combi. This fight is very silly. But yeah, they get everyone untrapped and the whole team engages the player. Oh, that is so wrong. Cubehead returns to the base, still flustered, and asked Narya for a continue. You know, with the next Kamen Rider series being video game themed, and I think one of the catchphrases using continue in it, finding these similarities between Kamen Rider and Super Sentai that air on the same day is gonna be just a touch less fun when next 8 rolls out. And the team engages the giant player. Also, the croc hand can shoot rope. What? And they blow the player up. And so the episode ends with conversations I'm sure plenty of fishers have with non-fishers. No, fishing is totally fun. I'm kinda stunned by this episode, to be frank. I skipped over a lot of the moral, as it were, of the episode, which felt like the filler part of it, as opposed to Bang Ray's fight with Bulbhead, wherein basically it became about, well, Misao and Leo learning if you work together with someone you don't like, clear the air and make it clear that you don't like aspects about them. Then after they admit hating you too, because they do say that, they say, "Ah, man, I hate people like you." Oh yeah, well, I hate people like you. It's not just, "Oh, I don't like that you're loud and I don't like you're introverted." It's actively, "I hate people like you." Once that's cleared up and off your chest, you can work together. It's not like by doing so they get the expected from Sentai begrudging respect for each other despite hating them. Like I said, it ends with them arguing about fishing and if it's fun or not. And then them brawling in the river to everyone's amusement. Just feels kinda odd to me, and I'm not sure how to really process that this is a Sentai episode. Anywho, on to Kamen Rider Ghost episode 44. Kido, Demiya no Kyofu. Activate, the terror of Demiya. And you know all those times Takaru destroyed the God Miser, and how important that all feels? And how I said last episode that two feathers just seem to make new ones? Yeah, apparently that was him reviving the God Misers that Takaru defeated. And somehow the heroes know that this has happened. How often do you see that? Not reviving a villain, obviously, but a show that just repeatedly going, you know, all that effort we put in that form we got to defeat the big bad. Doesn't matter. Might as well not happened. Whew, doggies. I know I said I wouldn't put effort or caring into this show anymore, but just, man, do I hate it. So, anyway, along with ripping out their souls, the bodies of those who used Demiya also start disappearing, like literally disappearing, becoming see-through. So, a kid that Takaru was looking into, because there's always a kid, is getting his soul iconed out, and Takaru grabs it, getting pulled into what looks like the opening of the Animatrix, if you ask me. Going through that as a tunnel, he ends up basically in what looks like the opening theme for the show. A large area of blue sky covered in feathers that show precious memories. And I guess inside the feathers are also the people who are being connected to the world somehow, and just I am so glad I'm not putting effort into trying to edit a video to explain this, because I don't think the visuals would help clear up what the hell's going on. Like, altogether, the people connect in these, like, prismatic tubes, and the tubes all connect together to make a giant contact lens for a giant eye rock in somewhere. And they're released thanks to classical music. You know, the Beethoven form. Which I find silly, as when I think of Ode to Joy in Japan, my mind thinks of the world actually ending, not as a way to prevent it. Man, I should be rewatching Ava. I really need to review something that I actually like after this. I mean, where even the hell was that taking place? Where was the big dang rock with the Ganma icon and symbol on it? Why was it Ode to Joy that made everyone remember their loved ones? Why was the rock seeming to change the air wherever the hell they were into the red sky of the Ganma world when we already had multiple episodes explaining how they would try to change the air into Ganma world air? Just how many damn episodes have been completely made useless and might as well have not happened? Where was I? Oh, right. Takaru saves the day, as we again get another hinting of the fact that Takaru had a mother. But next we need to establish that that won't work for the 50 million who have commercial versions. Why? Because it won't. So get to the server room, and Igor's there, acting smug and superior, and reveals to our idiot cast, who continue to trust that Bills was a good guy when they could have just used the thing to expel the Ganma icon that was possessing him, and that Igor was the puppet master. And I don't think Igor remembers that Takaru has Mugen, because, well, even with two Ganmeisers fighting alongside him, Igor has negative chance of beating him. Also, we see the extent of Onari's plan for possessing Alan. To get beaten up when he's in the Necron suit because he had zero plan and just wanted to take over someone more useful's body. So yeah, Onari gets knocked out of Alan, big surprise, and back to his own body. And Alan joins in the fight to buy Akari time to stop the Demiya project in the server room. And they fail because this was the server for the beta test, and why would you have servers for beta test separate from servers for the main release? So Takaru follows all the soul lines from the now end of the world Demiya project to an abandoned church, and they find a big important rock in said church. Because no one has explained how the crap you connect to them digitally, but I guess they can act like a server, just like the rock in Takaru's room, how Akari can seem to literally plug her computer into the rock. This never makes any sense. But, doesn't matter. Does not matter. Two Ganmeisers are there, the Wind and the Flame one, yes, the ones we've already beaten, including the first one we beat. But it doesn't matter if Takaru destroys them, because he does, because we know Two Feathers can just magically revive them anyway. Hell, why even stop at only having 15 Ganmizers, Two Feathers, if you could just force them awake by being connected to the Great Eye, however that works? You could make all the Gamma World Ganmizers. You could have hundreds. Why not? Also, Igor is slapped again, but sadly, despite how easily everyone blows up the Ganmizers and the big rock, Igor isn't destroyed. And, of course, it doesn't matter. Why? Because Two Feathers shows up and becomes the big rock server point instead. Hope he plans to stand there for the rest of his life. Because this show exists to make all previous episodes, even its own episode we're seeing, not matter. To have any of the stuff that happens in itself not matter. Man, I hate this show. Thank you again for watching more Reading Too Much Into Things. And thank you again for putting up with me failing to attempt to not put caring or effort into these reviews of the show. I'm Jake, and as always, stay safe.